Welcome to TM6 Adventures, Lisa here. I don't know about you, but it is really cold where I am, and there is a feature in our TM6 called Warm Up that is super handy in this cooler weather. So today we're going to look into Warm Up, we're going to learn more about it, and hopefully then you will use it more on your TM6. Now at the moment I've got going in here just some water. I'm going to make hot chocolate for the kids and us, and it's so easy with warm up. You're not going to burn your milk if you're using warm up mode. Okay, now the idea of warm up mode is that the TM6 is so smart that it is sensing that inside temperature of your bowl at any given time. So this means that when you're cooking, it's very energy efficient. It's not going to keep pumping heat to your machine when you're doing things like your 120 degrees. When it senses that it's at that temperature, it actually takes the heat off and turns it back on and off, on and off. But we don't see that. It's all done inside. It's that German technology. It's absolutely amazing. And in the case of warm up, it's a bit like kettle. It just keeps slowly stirring until it gets to temperature, and then it sings at you. So I wanted this water today to get to 65. Now in your home, it's probably your favorite milk, okay? It might be a nut milk, it might be cow's milk, it might be a light milk, whatever your preference is. We are out of milk. Tonight is shopping night. I have gone back to shopping fortnightly, okay? To save us money, that's how we can do it. Like, how often do we shop and we pick up things that are on special and on sale, and we end up with way more than we had on the shopping list. So I was like, rightio, 2 weeks ago I said, right, let's plan out 2 weeks. Let's shop to 2 weeks. And we are at the end of 2 weeks today. I shopped this evening, and so therefore we are on powdered milk, okay? There is no fresh milk. We've been having black coffees and all sorts. The kids have been making nut milks and all sorts of things. So I have water in there, but I do have powdered milk. We always have powdered milk. I tend to use it most in yogurt making. So I've always got it on hand in here. So I'm going to now, you can see that it stopped because it got to 65 degrees. We're going to come back to this 65 degrees in a moment, but I want to bring up scales. So I'm going to swipe sideways, come to the top, and it tells me on my little label that I need to make up a litre, which approximately is what I've got. I need to add 140 grams of this. Okay, so I'm just double checking, yeah, 140 grams. How good is the scales on the Thermomix that we don't have to dirty measuring cups and things like that? Yes, I have a spoon, that's okay. All right, so we're going to put 140. This is to make a litre. I'm serving 6. You do not need to make this amount if it's just you, okay? And I'm making it from scratch, so I'm not using a pre-made cocoa powder. However, you could. What did I say? 130, didn't I? I'm actually making it with today, like your cocoa powder that you use for baking and a sweetener. So I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? It's like a traditional old-fashioned style one. So that's now milkified my water, okay? Then I'm going to add into it my cocoa powder. Now you could use a Dutch cocoa powder. You can use whatever you'd like. I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of that, okay? So look, there's a spoon that lives in this. All right. Obviously, if you're making a Dutch one, it's going to be stronger. And obviously, the next step where we add sweetener, you get to play with your preference on sweetener. If you do create a recipe you really enjoy and you've got a TM6, you can add it into created recipes so that other people in your home can make it for you. Okay, now I haven't today, but I might later. We'll see. I might be able to do a little tutorial for you guys, especially if you're not using those created recipes. Okay, some sweetener. Now this is up to you. You could use monk fruit sweetener for a low carb. You could use rice malt syrup for a low fructose. I've got honey, mainly because we've got this tub of honey locally, and I'm a big believer in buying local produce when you can, and seasonally as well. And this one, it tastes funny. Now I know that it's real deal honey. It's actually crystallized, which I don't mind. I grew up with real deal honey. We had hives, but this one takes the cake as something different. I'm not sure what these bees were eating, but it's got a really peculiar undertone to it. And I do know that bees, you know, depending on what they eat, depends on what the honey tastes like. So I totally get that. But it's one of those ones that I don't think if I was sick, I could take a spoonful of it and soothe the throat. I'd probably desperately do it. But I'm going to use it for cooking for that reason. And we typically actually only use honey as medicinal. Okay, we use it when we're not well. We don't often put it into cooking. I will reach for the rice malt, the low fructose first, or the low carb first, and then cane sugar, raw sugar, and then this. But yeah, we do have it for medicinal purposes. So I'm going to put in 30 grams of this. Actually, I'm going to put in, I'm just going to look what I wrote down, 60. So I'm going to actually put in 50. Depends on how much. And by the way, this can like crystallized, no big deal. Okay, it shows that it's a real honey that's not being processed. If you're worried about that, heat it up. Oh, hello camera, come back to focus. That's it. Heat it up a bit. I don't have a microwave. I'd be sitting it in hot water in the stove. That would be my method of melting those crystals. But totally up to you. Okay, 60 it is. I'm not even gonna lick the spoon. It's really interesting. It's really tangy. It's not what you'd expect. Okay, I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of homemade vanilla. Okay, and then after this you can get creative. You could add some cinnamon if you feel like it's a good, spiced one. You could add some salt. That kind of brings out the sweetness a bit more. So I will actually add that. I've never had a honey quite like it. By the way, say hi if you're watching on today. Means you're going to get future notice of these videos. All right, and let's close that up. By the way, for those of you watching on in Australia, I am chasing at the moment 2 people to join up as Thermomix consultants, and I'd love to mentor you no matter where you are in Australia. I was thinking about it over the weekend, and I'm like, you know what, I love nothing more than empowering people to do what I do. You don't have to show up online. Okay, if that scares the bejeebies out of you, which it's done for me for a long time, don't worry, but you don't have to do it this way. But I would love to help you grow a business. So if you love your Thermomix and you find yourself talking to people about your Thermomix, you're out and about and having coffee with friends, you're like, oh, I made this in my Thermomix. Let me know. I'd love to, as I said, mentor you, teach you, help you set up a business. And there's so many opportunities. You might have seen my post a couple of days ago. Yeah, this is so much more than a business to me. This is something that just brings me joy. It fills my cup. It has done so much for the freedom of my family, things we can do, but the friendship, the fun, the learnings, like there are so many professional and personal development opportunities through what we do. There's leadership opportunities as well if you want to actually eventually take on your own team and mentor. We are not a sales pyramid. That's something that's I hear at demos, or I've heard over the years. No, not at all. We all have to have our own business, which I absolutely love, and I love supporting you guys with your Thermomix. So anyway, if you're one of those people and you'll find yourself just out and about and you're like, oh my gosh, on the weekend I want to talk to you. I want to turn that passion, that excitement into something that you then roll out naturally. It's like a butterfly effect, and share that with people around you. Okay, so if that is of interest to you, I'd like to, just because I think then I can, together as a small little group, we can encourage each other. So anyway, something to think about. If that sparks interest, reach out. Anyway, we've dropped temperature to 50 degrees. So I'm going to scroll sideways and I'm going to go back to my warm up. Now mine may be in a different order. You can rearrange these screens. Little button on the top right corner. Okay, so mine, through doing a lot of online demos, just like this, I've shown, like often we'll jump on and I'll be jumping on with the new owners who've got their new TM6 and learning how to cook something, and I will show them as part of that how to move it around and delete. So if mine's in a different place, that's why. Just have a look. If you can't find yours, reach out. Okay, I don't mind helping. I love to hear from you. So warm up mode for me is down here. I'm going to click on that. So it's currently at 45. We're aiming for 65. It will stop at 65. And you can go slow spoon, speed 1, speed 2. I'm going to go speed 2. But if I was reheating something like a curry with lumps of chicken and veggies in it, you want to go slow stir, okay? Because you do not want those chunks missing. Just a note, this is like a side note, don't use this for risotto. It will go to mush. Risotto is delicate. If you want to reheat risotto, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either put it in an oven with foil on top and like 100 degrees and bring it back up to temperature, or you can put it in your Vorwerk, which is my preference. Put your Vorwerk on top, have your risotto leftovers in a Pyrex dish, and just put on top to reheat over steam. And it comes back like you've just made it fresh. Okay, so, and same with if you ever have a risotto, and I had someone reach out yesterday about a risotto that wasn't cooking. Okay, they used a different rice than usual and it just wouldn't cook through. Don't be tempted to cook it longer in the Thermomix, because time and time again, I've seen people's go to mush. Okay, it does normally come out slightly undercooked, and I'm talking slightly, like it's not runny and liquidy. It just needs to sit for 5 minutes in the thermo, so with the lid on it becomes good. But I'm talking hers wasn't. Hers came, she put it in the thermo server, sat it for 5 minutes and it was still gooey. The rice hadn't absorbed it in, and there's definitely way too much liquid. Now, I said to her, don't cook it in your Thermomix longer, because if you cook it in your Thermomix longer, you're going to lose texture. Part of that rice is cooked. The outside of that little kernely thing is cooked. It's the inside that's not. Cover it with foil and put it in a casserole dish or something in the oven, and at 100, 120 degrees, cook it in there for 5 minutes at a go. So preheat it, put it in, 5 minutes, take it out, check it, 5 minutes in, and hopefully we can get that moisture to absorb into that risotto rice. Haven't heard yet to hear how it went. But yes, try and stick with the same brands. I remember years ago we did have issues as consultants. There was this particular brand that was on the shelf in the supermarket and it would not cook. We could extend that cook time and it still was hard inside. Some of you guys, I bet, have been around long enough to know that experience. I think it was early TM5 days. So maybe that brand has popped around full circle again. But anyway, so there's a little tip for risottos. Don't reheat risotto using this warm-up mode, because it will just lose texture. But anything that's got that liquidiness to it is fine to reheat. You might reheat soups at this time of year. And then, by the way, 65 degrees, it's about to sing at me because it's nearly there. It's got the little 65 over the big number 65. Soups, you'd obviously change to 65. See that little line on the dial? It can come all the way around up here. So you would reheat that potentially hotter. What I do love about this is that perfectionistness. Is that a word? But it means that when, you're not zapping it in a microwave, which I don't have, but zapping it in a microwave, and then you get it out and it's got like a boiling hot section and a cold section, and or you stir it and it's like, it's now really all hot, and you go to take that mouthful and it just burns you. You don't get that with Thermomix. It is consistent, and that's what I love. We've got that consistency. Plus, I don't have to babysit the Thermomix. It's not like a stovetop where I have to be there and constantly stir it. And with something with milk in it, you don't want it over 90 degrees. It will burn to the bottom. So, picking your temperature is perfect. And 65 is your perfect drinking temperature, where by the time it hits your cup, it's ready. Okay, it's singing at me. I'll just show you quickly the temperature change. Click on this and you can pick 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. Okay, and it goes all the way down to 37. Something to know with 37, this is not fermenting mode, okay? Because it constantly stirs when you're making things like yogurt, it needs to be stationary for 8 hours. So this is not going to help you with fermenting. You do need to use your fermenting mode over here, okay? If you need help with fermenting, reach out. All right, to finish this off, we have not quite got it all in. It doesn't matter at this stage. It's the milk I wanted warm. We are now going to turn it up to speed 7, and we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock because we're going to get this all mixed in beautifully and then frothy, which is important, right? Everyone likes a slightly frothy hot chocolate. So we're going to now do that process. So give it 30 seconds. I'm going to grab my cup. I was hoping to find my glass one, but I couldn't find it. So my great cool cup it is. Let me show you. But oh my goodness, it's just perfect. All that little bit at the end does is aerates it, so you get literally that froth on top. How good's that? So look at this. In it goes. Can you guys see? You can see. Look at that texture. Yum. So there you go. That is how incredibly easy it is to use warm-up mode on our TM6. Like, it literally takes, where can I put this? The guesswork out of, there we go, I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, you can, there you go. It takes that guesswork out, and it takes that babysitting of the kitchen out, which in this busy world we live, the less time we can spend in the kitchen, the better. All right, I'm going to wrap up there. Remember to jump over to the website, download, go to the blog and download some of these cards to help you get the most out of your Thermomix. Currently, we're doing a batch cooking series, okay? By the way, the QR code, if you can scan it, well and good. You might be on your phone watching these videos, you can't. If you go to, all of my places have it, but go to TMXing, TMXing, just replace like BMXing with a T, adventures.com.au, you'll find me. That's where that QR code will land you anyway. And yeah, go to the blog because there's all sorts here. There's gluten-free, dairy-free, carnivore, quick dinners, easy snacks, healthy habits, pumpkin recipes. It's pumpkin season, okay? Pumpkin pies, here we come. So yeah, go grab these, print them out, stick them on the fridge, put a little bulldog clip, because sometimes you just need inspiration. And yes, it's fabulous to have 10,000 English recipes, but sometimes it's really hard to know where to start. You're like, oh my gosh, what am I even going to cook? I need it quick. So do that. If you are interested in having a demo, I'd love to do a demo with you. If you live in Australia, you and 2 friends watching on, takes about half an hour. Learn something more about your Thermomix, get a discounted host reward. I tailor them to you. I've been doing a lot of cutter demos lately because cutter is on the host reward schedule as a discounted item. So if you're interested in that, reach out. Love nothing more than connecting with you guys, and it helps me know how I can support you better, because it's real people conversation. So if you do have questions, if you want to reach out, if you want to have a demo, I will be bringing back cook along soon. I know some of you guys have been asking for those. I'm excited to get into doing 1 or 2 of those a month for those of you who want to learn new skills. You know, we can all follow guided recipes, but sometimes it's what we do next out of the recipe, right? As I showed you the other day with the breads, you know, it wasn't about what I did in the Thermomix. That's easy. It's what we do afterwards. It can make or break. So that's what I'm here for. But otherwise, have a fantastic Monday. I hope you are having a great week so far. There is an offer, an amazing offer ending today. I know some of you guys watch this on replay later down the date, so like different dates. So I won't tell you what it is, because otherwise you'll watch in a week's time and you'll be like, Lisa, what was that? I want that. But if you are thinking about getting a Thermomix, now's the time, okay, to get one on the bench. If you're in Australia, I'd love to help you and support you. Please do not go to our website and buy one without a consultant's name entered. Okay, don't miss the middle man out, or middle woman out of the equation, okay? So otherwise consultants won't, we won't continue, because we've got you guys going direct. So don't go direct to the website. Make sure my name, or if you've got a consultant and maybe you're investigating getting a Thermomix because you've been to a demo or something, there's a little button above the checkout button that says add your consultant here. Please go find their name, okay? If you can't find someone, well, you're watching me, so put Lisa Keegan. But yeah, otherwise, have a fantastic day. Please reach out if I can help you with anything with your Thermomix. I love to hear from you. I love to know what you're making. I love to know if there's a challenge in a recipe that I can help you fix. But I need to get this hot chocolate out, because they are sitting over there waiting for the hot chocolate. But take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.